Have you heard about the carnivore diet? I've been talking to you guys a lot about keto diets and different keto things that I've tried, and I was talking to my barber about it recently, and he told me some interesting stuff about the carnivore diet, and he told me to read this book. So we're going to talk about that thing today. First of all, hi to all the new dads out there. This is Dad Reviews. This is where I give you my unedited, hopefully more authentic look at the products and books that we like. So if you're interested in that, you might want to consider clicking that subscribe button. So I was talking with my barber, telling him about my keto diet thing. I was wondering if he'd ever heard of it. And he told me how he's been losing a lot of weight and he looked really good and like muscular and bulky and whatnot. And I was like, man, you look good. Like you look stocky and you got some muscle on you. What have you been doing? He says, well, I was listening to this podcast, and the Joe Rogan podcast, and this guy on there named Shawn Baker, he's a MD, and he is recommending this carnivore diet, talking about the benefits and everything about it. And then there's another podcast of Joe Rogan's where he talks to Jordan Peterson and his daughter, Michaela. And they both had like some serious like autoimmune stuff and whatnot going on. And they were recommending this carnivore diet as well. So my barber sent me a picture of this book and he said, go and read this book if you're interested. And then he sent me a couple of other YouTube videos of like Carnivore Con or something like that. Some other like lecture type videos. So I went and I got all those. I watched it. I ordered this thing from the library and I read this thing. It was really quick read too. It's only like 200 or so pages, a little over 200 pages. And very, very interesting book here. This is a good like beginner book for the carnivore diet and why Shawn Baker, this particular doctor, recommends this diet. Now, what got me interested in it is whenever I was doing keto, I noticed that my hemorrhoids, like they weren't as inflamed. I've talked about my hemorrhoids in previous videos, ways that I'm trying to get rid of them. I've took some supplements and all that type of stuff. But I noticed that whenever I started this keto diet, like they really just started feeling not as bad. I don't want to say better, but I was reading this book and actually bookmarked it here. On page 83, it says The Carnivore Diet and Chronic Diseases, and it lists a whole bunch of them right here and right here. And these are things that other people anecdotally have noticed have gotten better since going on this carnivore diet. And just to give you guys an idea of what some of these are, it's ADHD, alcohol dependence, anemia, I don't even know how to say some of these, anxiety, arthritis, asthma, athlete's foot, autism, bipolar disorder, boils, I can't read some of these, COPD, Crohn's disease, dental caries, depression. They're all in. Look, pause the video and y'all can go through all of those right there. And then there's also all of these right there. Just pause the video and y'all can go through it to see if whatever you're trying to fix is on that list. But the thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that hemorrhoids is on there. And I was like, okay, that's worth trying because I've had hemorrhoids since I was like 14 years old, I believe is how old I was. In fact, I was going to Six Flags in Houston. Do y'all remember that one? Called Astro World. And I was riding a roller coaster and I really noticed that like there's some pain down there whenever you're sitting down on almost basically a bicycle seat for like a roller coaster, and then it starts bumping you around and whatnot. And so you feel that pressure on your hemorrhoids and it just does not feel good. And so time went by, it actually got better. The hemorrhoids never really developed much after that, but it was 2012, I want to say, maybe 13. We were having a garage sale, and I was kind of squatting down, putting price stickers on things, and all of a sudden, my wife noticed that there was some blood on my bottom, and I was like, okay, that's not good. And so I started reading a little bit about hemorrhoids and bleeding and whatnot, and but that day, at that time, whenever I was like looking down to check it out and I had my head over, I passed out whenever that happened, the day of the garage sale. And they like took me to the emergency room and all this type of stuff, trying to figure out what's going on. Pretty sure it was just a matter of some blood loss and then me having my head forward, and it just wasn't a good combination. But everything was okay from that. But ever since then, which was 2012 or 13-ish, for the past I don't know, 7 years, 90% of the time that I have a bowel movement, it bleeds. The hemorrhoids were bleeding from my butt, and it took me forever to like wipe it, get the blood to clot, you know, make sure everything was clean down there. And then finally I'd have to take my finger, usually put some kind of like lotion on it, and stick the hemorrhoid back up into my rectum. And that was just not fun. And it gets old after a while. And so ever since I saw this, the keto stuff and then this carnivore thing with the hemorrhoids on there, I was like, okay, I gotta try this. I gotta see if I can get rid of these things. And so like I said, with keto, I noticed that the symptoms started going away. They weren't as inflamed and all this type of stuff. And towards the end, right before I was about to start this carnivore thing, I noticed that they're not bleeding anymore. So I've cured the bleeding portion of my hemorrhoids by going on kind of this keto carnivore diet. And now I'm testing this thing out. Seeing that on page, whatever it was, that it can possibly cure hemorrhoids, I'm all in. I'm going to give this thing a good 6 months to a year, maybe even longer, depending on how it goes. But I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with my hemorrhoids on this carnivore diet. And I'd be curious to know from you guys, one, have you ever heard of the carnivore diet? And have you tried the carnivore diet yet? And did you have some sort of ailment that was bothering you that you've seen relief from? I would love to know that down in the comments below. We can kind of come together as a community of dads and figure out like if this carnivore diet is a legit thing. And I'd love to know if maybe even something that's not even listed in here that you have had success with getting alleviation from. So let me know that down in the comments below. If you guys want to see some of the other videos that I've done on the carnivore diet or the keto diet, I'm going to put them right there on the screen. You guys go click these videos. I'll see y'all in those videos. Thank you, dads, for watching. That thumbs up is always appreciated. If you guys want to read this, I'll link it up down in the description below. And dad out.